am so excited to have Miss Taylor Wellman in the studio today. And Taylor, I know we have all your details. They're going to be able to read your bio, but I want you to tell our audience something about yourself they're not going to read in your bio.
I would say something that most people wouldn't think knowing me is that I'm a fantasy football champion.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
In the 7 years that I've played fantasy football, I have been to the championship 6 times. And unfortunately, I've only won it once. But I'm looking to win it this year because I'm tired of being a runner-up.
How long have I known you? And why on earth did I not know this? I didn't know you like football. That's crazy.
Oh, I love football. And, I guess it's, top of mind right now since it's the season and everything. But yeah, right. I love football, and fantasy just makes it a whole other fun game.
That is so cool. Yeah. Okay. You just won the most interesting thing anyone has ever answered for that particular question. Oh my gosh. Well, number one, I think Taylor, I'm trying to think now, it's been such a long time since I did meet you. I'm thinking we met at a networking event. Am I correct?
It's either that or it was at my previous employer about 10 plus years ago.
No,
so
I've only
one or
known
the
you
other.
nope, I've only known you as videographer extraordinaire. So I think it was definitely at a networking event. So let me ask you this. I've always believed that things around networking and sales, which I'm going to tell the audience how fantastic you are, whether you know what I'm going to say or not. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to tell them what an amazing job you do at this. But I believe it's more about confidence than it is about competence. So tell us, what is your confidence story? In other words, what's the journey you've had to go on to enjoy the level of success that you currently have?
Well, I work in video marketing, which is typically a male-dominated field. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I applied to be a part of what was called Fresh Films. It was a national organization where you did a competition over a period of a couple weeks. And they thought I was a guy. They thought I was a male. When I showed up, they go, no, we're looking for a Taylor Luke.
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, no, I am Taylor Luke. That is me. That is my name.
Yeah.
And it was actually a group of 10, and there were 9 females in the group and only 1 male. I guess they were hoping there'd be 2 males, but sorry, disappointment there.
Right.
And then the following year, what they did is they selected the strongest female from each group across the nation to then be a part of what was called Girls in the Director's Chair. And so there was 1 person from each state that was a part of it. And that's the thing, I had 9 girls, counting myself, in my group, and they chose me to be a part of Girls in the Director's Chair. Wow. And that was just a really confident moment, a wow moment, that not only can I be really proficient in a male-dominated industry, that even amongst my female competition, I still stood out from the rest to be a part of this other national organization. And then to even carry on with that, during the Girls in Director's Chair, we each were given a scene to direct. And before it was my turn to direct the scene, the producers were saying we were behind schedule, and they were getting really concerned about our schedule. When we were done directing my scene, they said we were back on schedule. Wow. And so that also just felt really good that I came in with the tools and, with the organization needed to not only get the shots I wanted to get, but to do it on time.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. And these are things we talk at least once a week. And these are things I've never heard before. I'm so glad we're doing this podcast. I'm learning right along with everyone else. So I definitely, again, I know that we met with networking. We see each other often at networking events. You're now a member of our local Network in Action organization. So I know that you network yourself. I mean, just really, tell me a little bit about what role networking has played in the growth of your business.
Oh my gosh, without networking, I don't think I would still have a business, to be completely honest. Without meeting new people, how can you add people into your pipeline? Networking is extremely important totally when you're first starting out because you need to meet
Right.
people, but then
Right.
even continuing on, because if you don't add to your pipeline, how can you ever expect to grow? And so networking is extremely important. In addition to finding new clients, it's just finding resources for my clients. When
Yeah.
someone says, I need help with sales, well, then I need to have them talk to you. When someone says, I need help with website design, I have someone I can refer. And so it's about being bigger than just yourself. You want to help people. And if you truly do want to help your clients and customers, you need to know people beyond yourself and beyond your industry to help them with everything.
I love that. And you know what? That is so key. So I'm speaking to the audience now. I want you to listen to what Taylor just said. If you really want to help your audience, you have to know people beyond yourself. So that kind of switches, if you will, networking on its head, in that I'm not just going for me, I'm going for my people, right? I'm going to help make connections. Who do I meet? Who am I going to meet that Taylor needs to know? Who am I going to meet that I can connect my other connections with? And speaking of connections, I believe connections are literally the lifeblood of our business, without a doubt. Like you said, we don't grow without those additional connections. What connections or connection would you say has played the biggest role in your life or in your business?
What connection or connections? I would say just anyone who I have met through, LinkedIn in particular. And the reason why I pinpoint LinkedIn is because when I transitioned from working for someone to then working for myself, it was amazing how many people reached out to me who I was connected to on LinkedIn going, wow, now I can directly work with you and I don't have to go through someone else. And that really catapulted the start of our business, 6.5 years ago. And so I really appreciate everyone who did connect with me through LinkedIn, in the very beginning, because like I said, without those connections, without them recognizing that my title changed on my profile, I don't know, other than networking, how we would have been able to really get started and grow from where we were.
Wow, that says a lot about, number one, your activity there, because people would not have been paying attention to that title changing had you not already started building those relationships. And it also says a lot about who you are and how you do business, that people were so excited to be able to work with you directly. So let me just share my own story about Taylor. So Taylor, whether or not you consider yourself a sales professional, I don't know, but I know for a certainty that you are so good. I teach follow up, I teach sales, I've been teaching networking, all these things for years. And to be really honest with you, out of all the people who I work with, you are the best at staying connected with people, knowing what it's like to gently and very authentically follow up in a way that doesn't feel like, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It just feels like, hey, you said you wanted this. Are you ready to move forward? It's just those really gentle but consistent taps on the shoulder that keep, I'm sure, people saying yes to you. And I know, because I've met people all across the Phoenix Valley who already know who you are. So I know that you're really well connected, but my experience and now doing lots in business with you, right? We're doing business all over the place now, but it's only because you never let me forget about you, but you never made me feel overwhelmed or like, oh my God, if Taylor calls me one more time. It was a really great balance. And I think that a lot of times people in business, they miss that. They get frustrated with the time it takes for someone to say hello to the time it takes them to say yes. And if they would learn from you just how well you're able to, again, stay in front of people, stay connected, make sure people are aware that you're there to help them without making them feel overwhelmed. I'm like, next time we do a class, I'm probably going to have you just come in and talk about how well you do that, because it's magical, it's beautiful, and it works well. And I'm a witness to the fact that it works well, because we met years ago, but we really just started doing business together in the last year, right?
It's very true. Yeah. And I really appreciate that and hearing that, because, you never want to bug people, but
Right.
as you have even said, you're not bugging them, you're blessing them. And
them.
I love that
Yes.
you say that, because it's true. When
Yeah.
people needs something, life gets in the way. And especially being a business owner, thinking about your own internal marketing is always at the bottom of your list. You're more concerned about, your customers, your clients, and how to get to that next customer, but you're not always thinking about, okay, internally what you should be doing. And so I truly do believe fortune's in the follow-up. And it's not just following up with people you just met, it's following up with people whom you've known for years. And maybe you don't follow up with them as frequently. Maybe it's just happy holidays or happy new year, or when there's something special happening in their life, you just want to reach out just to say hi sometimes.
Right. I love that. And I think that the other great thing about it is that without being overwhelming, or like you said, being in that person who becomes almost obsessive about their follow-up, what you do is you gently kind of stamp yourself on the forefront of their mind. So from the moment I've met you and started having interaction with you, whenever someone says they need video, they need someone to help them, to capture their event, they need someone to edit their videos, all of those things, no one else ever comes to mind. I'm like, you need to call Taylor. You need to call Taylor. I have Taylor's number. Let me connect you and Taylor. I've said that dozens and dozens and dozens of times over just the last few months, but over the time we've worked together, I've done that because of the way that you kind of stay in the forefront of people's minds. And I, again, think that when people learn that and they learn to do it well, they don't have to sell for themselves. They're always going to have a built-in sales team of people who just love their work, trust that they're going to get taken care of, and refer that business. And that's what we're all about, right?
Most definitely. And thank you for that. And, really, your customers should be your sales team.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
should be screaming your name to the mountaintops because you did a good job for them. And that's the thing. When you're a good person, you want other people to have good service or to get what they need. And so it's just like I was talking about with networking. You network not only for your own business but for anyone you're connected with. The same thing goes when you refer someone. You want to refer because you want them to experience the same thing you experienced.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me, if you could sum up your journey in one word, what would that word be, Taylor?
One word. This is where I wish I had a bigger vocabulary. I would just say persistence. It's just a matter of persistence. Year one, it was rough. There were times where we debated, do I need to find a regular job to pay for bills? But then every time I thought that, I went, no, if I get a regular job, then I won't have the time to focus on my business. So I need to be persistent, just be persistent in doing what I'm doing. And then even so, I never stopped my follow-up plans and how I follow up. I stayed persistent in it because it was working. And so sometimes you do need to think about what is working and stay persistent with that. But other times, if it's not quite working yet, you still need to be persistent, give it a try, really give it a try before you change it or before you say, I'm going to stop doing that. So I would say it's just persistence.
I love that. And I see it. I know it. Sometimes people might say something. I'm like, that's a word I wouldn't have thought of for you. Whereas this is one I'm going, yep, that's absolutely the epitome of what you've done. And I love seeing it in action. Would you, by any chance, have a networking secret? Would you say that there's a secret to the way that you've been able to build your network and really cause it to show fruit, if you will, or harvest for the business?
My number one tip or secret, whatever you want to call it, is when you do meet someone, you need to follow up in 24 hours or less. And to be completely honest, the same day. And so if I met you at an evening networking event from, 5 to 7, you need to get an email before midnight. Because we're always so busy and we're going to forget. We're going to forget the conversations we had. We're going to forget that I said I could use some sales advice. Instead, if you follow up right away when that excitement is high, they won't forget about you. And then if they don't answer right away, that doesn't mean they didn't want to talk to you. That just means you need to put in your calendar that I always kind of give it either a week to 10 days, so 7 to 10 days, send another follow-up. Oh, we didn't connect yet after our conversation at XYZ. Are you still looking to have a deeper conversation? I want to learn more about you. Continue to follow up where you're not annoying, but you want to just remind them, yes, I enjoyed talking to you. Let's keep talking. And so it's that time frame, that frequency that you need to do it right away so they remember who you are. And then when they don't respond, because they are busy too, don't give up, stay persistent, and then follow up with them again in that, 7 to 10 days, I tend to find.
So you're making my heart so happy right now. you're teaching and preaching my language here. We're like sisters from another mister, for sure. I completely agree 100%. I think that in many cases, we started with that word confidence. Sometimes our confidence causes us to miss those opportunities because the 8-year-old shows up and goes, well, what if they don't want to talk to me? Or what if they don't respond? Or, oh, they didn't call me back. And then we stop. Whereas that persistence changes everything. I have people, Taylor, who do business with me now that it took 2 years, 3 years, right? Of just that constant consistency, reaching out every now and then, checking in, not being overbearing. It makes all the difference in the world. So let me ask you this. How can I refer you? I've been telling everybody, about you when I meet you, but our audience is going, okay, so who exactly is Taylor? What exactly does she do? So tell the audience, those who are kind of going, how do I help? How do people refer you?
Well, I always like being referred with a mutual introduction email. And that's the same thing I do for people too. If there's someone who needs a service, I then send a mutual introduction. So I go, Jack, you need to meet Tish. Tish is an extraordinaire about teaching you how to convert sales and how to network effectively. You are going to love talking with her. Jack does XYZ and is looking to increase his sales 50% within the next few months. What that does is it gives you a nice soft toss over. Not only does it build the confidence of the person whom you're referring to, it then gives that person some knowledge about who this person actually is. And so that's how I like to be referred, is just give that person a little information about myself. Why would they even want to talk to me? And then who is that person I'm about to talk to? So that way I have some reference point of their industry and how we could possibly help them.
Very good. Who do you believe that you are uniquely gifted to serve? There are some people who are like, I work really well with this type of person or this type of industry. Who do you believe you're uniquely gifted to serve?
I would say that I serve really well with people who might feel overwhelmed, who maybe feel that technology is just too much to deal with, because in our business, we don't push packages. Everything is custom created and custom made to fit your needs. And so if you are someone who just can't fathom the idea of posting to social media, well, then we can take that on for you or train you how to do it. We want to empower people to use video marketing for their businesses, whether they're using us for everything or not. Because really at the end of the day, you need to get out there. You need to let people know about your gifts. And if you use us for the full service or not, I just want you to have that confidence to go out there. So anyone who is just not happy with technology or find it confusing, I tend to work really well with them. Both my partner and I have been told on numerous occasions that we have the patience of a saint. And so
yeah, and I can attest to that. You did so if you have gone to my YouTube site and you see that video at the very beginning that kind of just says, here I am and here's what I do, I'm going to tell you, Taylor is the one who did that. And she and Eric, her partner, were so patient because it was like, oh God, start all over again, and it was so easy. We did do it fairly quickly in all honesty, but it was just so easy. She made it so easy for me. So if you're looking for a beautiful video, what we call positioning video for your website, looking for marketing, if you need to do a commercial for your company, you need to make sure you reach out to Taylor and Eric at Financial Potion. Why don't you tell the audience how they can reach you?
Wonderful. Well, I would love for you to take a look at our website, www.financialpotion.com. On there, you can see some video examples, and then we have a contact form where you can reach out to us and tell us your goals. I need to know, what is it you want to accomplish, so then we can help you accomplish it using video marketing.
Oh my God, I love it. There's so much. We could probably talk for an hour or longer about all the various things that you've just done for me that I know you've done for me. And I know you do way more than that, but go to financialpotion.com. Make sure you check out Taylor's work, reach out to her if you have people that she just described that are overwhelmed with technology, have no clue how to put a video together or post something on YouTube, or really market their business visually like this. This is the team that you need to be working with. Taylor, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Tish. I love you and I appreciate you.
I
And I'm
love you
just so
back.
excited to be a part of the NIA group. It's an amazing group. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Absolutely. See you next time.